What up guys, and welcome to another Cardano NFT market update video. A video where I cover my personal thoughts on the Cardano NFT market, go over some of the top volumed projects, and personally tell you guys my strategy that I'm using to navigate the market right now, which by the way guys, is an absolutely crazy market for CNFTs. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. First things first guys, how does the overall volume look like in the Cardano NFT market? And to be honest with you guys, it could look a lot better. A lot of days in this month, we didn't even get above 500,000 ADA worth of volume. And in my opinion, this is the worst market I've seen for Cardano NFTs since I've gotten started investing in this space, which is pretty crazy. Even with a lot of new and exciting mints that have been building for a while, we still failed to get past 1 million ADA during these different mints and transactions. And even if you look at the all-time guys, we have been on this continual downtrend, and we haven't been at this levels of volumes since CNFTs first started, and that was back when ADA was worth a hell of a lot more than it is right now. Now, this might all seem gloom and doom, guys, and I see a lot of people saying CNFTs are dead, we're moving blockchains, blah, 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 blah. But in reality, guys, even Ethereum and Solana have taken very significant hits when it comes to their floors. And you can't just look at their volume because a lot of wash trading is going on with the new Blur marketplace. So in reality, it's not just CNFTs that have taken a 50% hit since the start of the year, but the overall market as a whole. Now, where do I personally see things going for NFTs, specifically Cardano NFTs, over the next short-term period, medium-term period, and long-term period? In the short term, guys, I personally think that we are pretty close to the bottom when it comes to Cardano NFTs in particular. I think you just had so much going on at once. You had a lot of brand new mints happen. You had so much liquidity start to go away from some of these top projects and go into these new projects. You had people leaving the ecosystem. You had crypto going up, so people were cashing out. So I think we are getting pretty close to the bottom here, where a lot of people are just capitulating. They've been giving up. They've been leaving the ecosystem. And usually when I see these really high levels of fear, you know that the bottom is getting somewhat close, or you at least hope so. We do have some catalysts in the short term, which is JPG's token airdrop. This is supposedly going to happen sometime in the next month, and based on the amount of volume, you are going to get some of these JPG tokens, and this might actually spark some additional trading in the Cardano NFT space. Ultimately, though, I think in the short term, we just need to recover from all these massive mints. A lot of projects, whether it's Magic Conks, Cotas, Her Monster, Stag Alliance, they all minted this month. It was a ton of ADA. We didn't have a lot of new people coming in, so obviously these projects are going to take a hit. There aren't too many new mints on the horizon besides old money minting right now. We have OTK and we have Blockowls. But besides that, there's not really too many mints. So I actually think we might see a lot of money flow back into some of these blue chips that have taken significant hits. When it comes to the medium term, one of the reasons I'm in Cardano and I'm in Cardano NFTs is because the TVL, in my opinion, is really going to boom over the next year or two. A lot of times these different NFT runs or just blockchain runs in general happen when the DeFi explodes. Cardano DeFi has yet to explode, but it's starting to get a lot more traction. When you go to DeFi Llama and you look at the amount of ADA TVL, we are at an all-time high when it comes to TVL at 360 million. And USD, we are lower, and that's simply because ADA is significantly lower than what it was back in March of 2022. So this is a very good sign. Cardano went from like the 29th largest blockchain when it came to TVL to now the 18th/17th, and there's still a lot more room to run. And if we continue to see a lot more TVL come into the ecosystem, which I'm expecting to happen over the next 3 months, 6 months, potentially even a year in this kind of midterm thing, I think some of that money is going to start flowing into the actual CNFTs. Now, another thing that I wanted to bring up for the midterm or even potentially short term is Sebastian Goliamat. I probably butchered that like I butcher everything, from Melco Media. He's saying that next month that Cardano's EVM layer can be released. Now, this is something absolutely crazy that blows my mind, guys. And one of the things that is a major issue with Cardano in general is the fact that it's not EVM compatible. You can't code something on Ethereum and Solidity, which is a lot easier to code in, and then basically export those smart contracts to Cardano. You could do that for Polygon and other EVM compatible chains, and it makes it so everything works together. The fact that Cardano is not EVM compatible has been a major shtick in its right. I don't even know what I was going for, but it's been a pain in the ass, guys. Like, it's not good. It makes it so that it's very difficult to code on Cardano because you need to know Plutus. People don't want to take the time to code and learn how to do Plutus if there's no money to be made here. And it's been this never-ending system where it's very hard for DeFi projects in Cardano to really get a boost. If they can actually do this and pull this off and allow your wallet to interact with EVM contracts, smart contracts, then this is going to be massive. It means that a lot of different projects and other companies can start implementing Cardano and incorporating it in a way that hasn't happened yet. And one of the things that's really interesting is Magic Eden came out today for April Fools and said announcing our 5th blockchain Cardano, and it was an April Fool's joke, but if they are actually able to use EVM, they can simply add Cardano to Magic Eden and use the same smart contracts they already have for Polygon and they already have for Ethereum. And now all of a sudden you could get one of the fastest growing marketplaces to add on Cardano and get an additional boost out of it. So far, it hasn't been worth for Magic Eden to actually add Cardano. It was for Matic and Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana, but it hasn't been worth paying all these developers to code Plutus. If they can just integrate it, that is going to be absolutely massive, and that's something to pay attention to. So to kind of summarize what I said there, because I know it was all over the place, for the short term, I do think that we're close to a bottom. I think that we just need some time for all this liquidity to kind of circle back to a lot of these major projects. I think that we have some catalysts going on in the short to midterm with the JPG token airdrop, as well as Miko Mita's EVM compatibility. For the midterm, I expect that the TVL is going to continue to increase, which is going to not only help boost up Cardano and get more eyes on the ecosystem, but also start to basically pour money back into the NFT side of things. And then when it comes to the long term, guys, I'm just bullish on this space in general. If I wasn't bullish on this space in general, I wouldn't be making these YouTube videos. I wouldn't be owning a project on this chain. I'm bullish on Cardano. I'm bullish on the chain. I'm bullish on the NFTs. It's just, of course, shit happens and we're in a bad market right now, and who knows how long this market's going to last. But I think in the long term, we're in a good spot. Now, what am I doing when it comes to strategy? There's a few things that I'm doing strategy-wise right now. If you're someone with a lot of Cardano NFTs, I think right now is the worst time to sell. We've already capitulated a lot. NFTs are very low right now. We've had all these mints. It's not the right time to sell. The right time to sell was months ago, and this is why I recommend to people to have some of their NFTs or a lot of their NFTs pre-listed at different levels so you can pretty much sell on the run-ups. So now you're not in a situation where there's no liquidity in the market where you can't get out of your position. Liquidity is the number one issue that I have with NFTs, especially when it comes to Cardano NFTs and smaller NFT markets. So yeah, if you're still holding NFTs, now's the time to keep holding them. Selling them is a bad move. Potentially buying some blue chips right now is a decent idea. We don't know if we're at the bottom yet, but it's something that if you're a long-term believer and you're here to stick it through and you think that project is going to last, it's not a bad play. What I'm mainly doing right now, though, is I am on Indigo Protocol and I have opened up iETH CDPs and I have been doing a lot of DeFi when it comes to Indigo. Now, if you're a BIG member, I made a whole entire video guide on how to actually do this. The rewards are pretty crazy. There are some different things that you have to know. I might make that video public on this channel in the future, but right now I'm just having it for BIG members. But yes, check out Indigo Protocol. If you're able to figure it out, it's a pretty cool protocol. The second thing I'm doing, Polygon NFTs have been blowing up. Utes just migrated over there on the 28th. There's a lot of transactions happening on Polygon. I'm a big believer on not being a maxi on one chain and identifying opportunities on all chains. And that's why, once again, we're kind of like, my whole project, Jellycubes, is all about finding information and finding these opportunities. I think Polygon NFTs are going to continue to get more liquidity. There's going to be more people trading on this. And even though I'm not as bullish in the long term on a layer 2 blockchain like Polygon, I think there's a lot of potential in it right now. For example, guys, Alpha minted a week ago. 19 Matic mint price for whitelist, 24 Matic mint price for public. Literally, guys, within a week, the floor is 220. Even if you minted it in the public, you're looking at a 10x right now. A Matic is like $1.10. So you're looking at $200 profit per owl that you minted within a week. If you got a lot of owls like I did, it ends up being pretty significant. So one of the things I've been doing is I've been getting into some of these Polygon projects. Alpha is the only one right now that I minted and that I bought on the secondary, and I'm just holding for a longer term swing trade when it comes to Matic NFTs. Most of these projects coming out, guys, you're just going to want to get in and you're going to want to get out and you're going to want to make your money. And you got to realize that a lot of these projects aren't going to make it, but there's going to be some that go on absolutely crazy runs when more people start to figure out Polygon, especially with the catalyst of Utes coming over. Even Brozos minted in the past week. This was a 30 Matic mint. It went all the way to 80 pre-reveal. So now all of a sudden you were looking at a 2.5x literally same day. So that's a really great flip. So even though there aren't a lot of Cardano NFT flips right now, there are flips on other chains. And if you're someone that knows nothing about Matic, I'm posting a Matic guide today that'll tell you everything that you need to know. And join our Discord, the Block Discord, where we're going to be covering and doing analysis for these different Polygon projects absolutely free. So it's a good resource to basically know which projects to go for, especially since I can't always make a video covering it. So that's what I've been doing for the most part. I've been flipping NFTs on Matic. I've been doing the CDPs on iETH, and I've been slowly buying into some of these different blue chip NFTs that I believe are going to be here for the long term. If we're in an extended bear market, I'm worried that a lot of these projects are just going to die. I hope we're not in an extended bear market, but if we are, I don't want to be in projects I don't believe in. The projects I believe in are going to be, for me, I'm a little biased, like your Jellycubes, your Clay Nations, your Mallard Orders, maybe your Ape Societies, like some of these larger projects, your Space Buds that have been around for a while and have a strong likelihood of being here in a year or in 2 years. For the most part, guys, I think if this bear market gets even worse, you're going to see a lot of projects fail and run out of money and give up hope, and their leaders are going to, kind of dip, right? So you want to be in projects that you trust are actually going to be. Now that whole spiel is out of the way, and sorry guys if it took a while, it's just I wanted to let you guys know what I was doing because it's been a while. What are the top 10 biggest movers this week when it does come to Cardano NFT volume? Number one is Magic Kongs at 431,000 ADA worth of volume. These guys actually minted yesterday. Then we have Gophers Minor Club at number 2, Ape Society at 3, Stag Alliance with 184,000 at number 4. We have Cornucopias Land at 5. Chilled Kongs, Clay Nation, and Bored Ape Cardano Club are next. At number 9, you have the Mallard Order at 119,000 ADA worth of volume. And coming in at number 10, we have Cotas at pretty much 90,000 ADA worth of volume. First project on the list is Magic Kongs. Now, Magic Kongs had a mint price of 350 ADA. They have about 5,000 of these NFTs that were mintable in the public, and the rest of them are all getting airdropped. So there's 8,888 Kongs, if I'm remembering off the top of my head correctly. Each one of these guys are getting an airdrop of a mushroom. There's 3 different types of mushrooms, and depending on the rarity of the mushroom and which OG Kong you do, you're going to get one of these Magic Kongs. Now, in my personal opinion, the mint price of 350 was way too high, especially after all the mints that happened this month. And to be honest with you guys, I was expecting this floor to go as low as it is, and I do expect it to go lower. You're about to basically triple supply in the next day or two when that airdrop comes in, and I expect these Magic Kongs to probably go anywhere from that 150 to 200 ADA floor price level, and an even really bearish situation down towards 100, but I think for the most part we're going to hover between that 150 and 200 ADA range. Now, I'm not super bullish on Chilled Kongs in general. I know they have a strong community, but I haven't really seen strong leadership, in my opinion, or a clear directive of where they're going to use these funds. And in my opinion, they really messed up with doing such a high mint price, especially since that mint money really hasn't been decided where it's going. So for me, I'm staying away from these Magic Kongs. If they get down to 100 ADA, maybe I'll buy one or two because I think the community is strong here and that's something they have going for it. I think the art is pretty unique as well. I've had mixed feelings. Some of them look really good. Some of them look really weird and bad, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll pay attention to it. If it goes down to 100, I'll buy some, but I'm not super bullish long-term on Shield Kongs in general. Next project here is Goofy Gophers Mining Club. Now, Goofy Gophers Mining Club is a project that I'm shocked actually sold out. They raised a ton of ADA, and even though I'm bullish on this project and like the idea, I was very impressed with how much ADA they were able to sell. If you don't know anything about this project, guys, essentially they sold these Goofy Gophers, they raised a bunch of money, now they're buying ASIC miners, they're buying like 4 or 5 different ASIC miner brands, they're getting them at a bulk discount, they're then shipping them to the Midwest, they've got a management facility that pretty much manages all of these miners, they get really cheap electricity there, a lot of it is renewable, and pretty much what they're doing is they're taking all these crypto mining rewards, they're selling it, reinvesting it into more miners, and then after like 6 or 9 months from now, you're going to start getting revenue distribution from those different miners, and it's going to be split into different categories, one of which is revenue distribution, one of which is going to go to like a treasury where you can kind of vote on where money is going, and a lot of different stuff. So I think long term, it's a pretty cool project. I've got to run the numbers right now at the different levels to see how worth it is going to be, but their utility is directly tied to cryptocurrency mining, and right now it is a good time to get into crypto mining simply because not a lot of people are doing it. It's not as profitable, and because of that, you can get these miners pretty cheap. So if you're bullish on crypto long term and crypto goes up a lot and you're mining a lot of these rewards and now all of a sudden those miners are worth more, then this project could do well long term. Now, personally, I think people are going to get really bored over the next couple months because the rewards are still far away. So I think you're going to be able to get a better price than this, in my opinion. You might have these go up as it gets closer and closer to those actual rewards being lent out. But in my opinion, the CNFT space and NFT people in general are very, very slow. And I do expect these to go down in floor price before that actual revenue split. So at that point in time, maybe it'll be a better buy-in. Next project here is the Ape Society, and they have taken a pretty significant hit like a lot of different projects out there. They're at 5,500 ADA, which is the lowest I've seen them at for a while now, pre-Society token. They have about 3% listed, which is also on the higher end for this project, but low overall. Now, their community is strong. They've been buying them up at this 5,000 ADA level. They have a lot of different stuff going on with all of their various landmarks, etc., etc. Now, is right now a good buying opportunity? It's getting there because I think that Ape Society could be a very good long-term project, but I also realize, guys, that this 5,500 ADA price is really high when compared to a lot of the other market, and it really prices out a lot of buyers. So there's a world where this continues to go down, but I have my eye on it, and maybe it bounces off this 5,000 ADA support pretty well, but I just think their Society token has been getting sold a lot. You now have Cotas, which is leading to some dilution when it comes to the actual main Ape Society because people are buying that other collection as well. And yeah, bullish on this project long-term, bullish on Congo long-term, but I do think that it could potentially continue to go lower if the market continues to go this way. Next thing here is Stag Alliance. Now, Stag Alliance is a project that minted recently. I'm actually shocked right now that their that it's this far below mint price at 139 ADA. I think this team is well-rounded. I think they can deliver long-term. People had mixed feelings about the art. Some people don't think the art really held up, but the major thing with Stag Alliance is that they're very slow to act. They've been doing things very carefully. I think this team is going to deliver in the long term, and I think it's a project to pay attention to. They have this gamified experience coming somewhat soon where you're going to be able to use these stags in this fantasy world called Elder World, and you're going to be able to go on these different quests and missions and pretty much craft different gear and items, and I think it's going to be something pretty cool like that. Now, the big thing is the whole economics of this is that as you level it up and go on this leaderboard, you're going to be able to get these exclusive and exotic NFTs that are even more rare. A lot of times I don't see that sort of thing being super successful long term, but if they're able to make a lot of excitement and hype out of it and people actually want to do these experiences and those experiences are a lot better than people are anticipating, then maybe this project will go up as a result. Next project here is going to be your Cornucopias Land sale. And honestly, I checked the Discord, guys. I have no idea why they're in the top right now. I think they might have just gotten a big land sale or something like that, and someone sold a piece of land cheap, and that's why it's in the top right now, because volume's low. But as of right now, there's nothing really going on with the project, nothing new to really update you guys on. Next thing here is Chilled Kongs. Like I said, guys, Chilled Kongs just did their Magic Kongs. They're now bringing in like a total of 13,000 new NFTs into their ecosystem. That is massive, massive dilution. I personally expect that when this airdrop goes out, that these Magic Kongs are going to drop down to that 150 to 200 level. And I think these Chilled Kongs are most likely going to go down to that 500 level. And in my personal opinion, I don't really see anything coming down in the pipeline besides like 3D Kongs and this other stuff that would really basically help the floor of this. So I hate to say it, but I'm pretty bearish on Chilled Kongs in the long term. Unless they say that they're going to do some cool stuff with that mint money and provide different utilities, I don't personally see how they're going to basically uphold their price with all this new dilution and nothing new really coming. Next thing here is going to be Clay Nation. They're down to 2,500, and I think Clay Nation is a safe long-term buy. I'm not very bullish on metaverses, which is a whole thing that they're trying to do right now. I think that there's going to be some successful metaverses, but a lot of them are going to fail. So as far as what they're focusing on, it's not the focus that I personally prefer, but I think this team is just an all-star team. Like, they're out there, they're meeting people, they're making partnerships, they're building their brand, they're building their IP, they're great at marketing, they're gonna have all of this different stuff that you can do to your pitches, they have their pants. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming with this project, and I think it is a good long-term safe play if you're able to get in at a good price. I do see these going down potentially towards that 2008 level, but they might find support at this 2,500. Which they have been over the last couple of days. If this gets down to that 2008 level, though, I do think it's a pretty decent long-term pickup, especially with all this stuff that has yet to come out. Next thing here is Bored Ape Cardano Club, and this really made a wave in the CNFT space, guys. Somehow this derivative had gotten 900,000 ADA worth of volume and went absolutely crazy and is like one of the best mints that you could have minted in the past month. And there's all this, you know, some people are really against it, some people are for it, whatever the case is. I personally didn't mint because I didn't think it was going to do this well, and a lot of these derivatives simply do not do well. I think, though, that the reason it did well is it was a cheap mint. I don't know what's been going on recently, but every single mint is like 300 ADA, 200 ADA, 250 ADA, 400 ADA. Like, this is really expensive in this market, guys. Maybe a few months ago you were able to get those different prices and raise that amount of money, but in the current market situation right now, it is very difficult to do that and at the same time support your floor. Yes, these different projects still sold out because there's a bunch of degens on Cardano, but a lot of their floors are under mint. Cotas is under mint. You've got Stag Alliance under mint. You have a lot of these mints going under mint right now. Magic Kong's under mint, right? And I think it's just because it's so much ADA. And people really don't want to risk a lot of ADA into new projects right now. So I think that was a big testament, and I really hope that a lot of project founders that are listening right now go with a cheaper mint. I think it's better to do that, split your mint up and maybe mint the other half later on for more money. But right now it's a little crazy to do super high mints. Next thing here is Mallard Order. Now, Mallard Order actually has a lot of exciting things coming up. I like this project long term. I think Demos is great. I think they have a lot of things going on with them. They just came out with their new website, which I'll show in a second. They also have their Raiders Guild beta, which is kind of like a Twitter Raider tool that they're going to offer as a service to other projects. They have their Merch and Printers Guild, which is going to be like a whole entire like canvas poster marketplace type deal. And then they're going to do that full Raiders launch in the 27th of this month. So you have some catalysts there. You also have their art upgrade happening somewhat soon too, as with those relics. So you have a lot of stuff going on with Mallard Order. They have taken a pretty significant hit, but I think they have a lot going on. And if you can get in at some decent prices, I think that this is a pretty good long-term safe play. And you can see here, guys, they have all of this new stuff on their site. They have new lore coming to basically redesign this whole thing. There's a lot on here. They have like comic book coming out and like some animated stuff. Overall, I like this project a lot. I think it'll do solid long term. Next thing here is Cotas by the Ape Society. Now, I personally have a shit ton of these Cotas, guys. And yes, I am down right now, but I think these Cotas are actually undervalued for the long term. They're pretty much going to act as a membership / loyalty discount type deal for all of their landmarks in the future. So they're going to have a lot of landmarks, which are like different businesses. One of them is the factory that helps onboard projects from Web 2 into Web 3. And essentially what's going to happen, guys, is you're going to be able to take your passport. You're going to be able to go to these different landmarks they have. As you use them, you're going to be able to level up these passports, blah, 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 and then get higher discounts, different exclusive stuff with that. Now, it is a lot of NFTs at 10,000 NFTs, so it is difficult to move a project like this, but their actual holder distribution ratio is really great at 4,400 holders, one of the highest I've seen. 4.66% listed isn't too bad either, and I do think as far as a long-term play that these could do pretty well. Now, it is a super long-term play though, guys, because the whole utility is around their landmarks, and those landmarks are going to take time to build, and you don't even know if they're going to be successful. But I think that this is a really good buy-in price in order to get into the Ape Society ecosystem. Next thing here. Mutants. Mutants have taken a very big hit over the past month or two, like a lot of other projects out there. I still think that Mutants are going to do well long term. They do have the highest revenue generating platform on Cardano, which is their whole entire raffle platform. Now, the amount of money that can flow back into their holders still has to be worked out, in my opinion, but they do have some catalysts coming up. They finally announced their mint date of March 28th. There's 8,000 of these new Season 4 mutant NFTs, and pretty much what's going to happen, guys, is you need 2 mutant NFTs as well as 500 of their tokens. You're going to be able to combine that, and you're going to be able to get some of their new NFTs here. Now, I personally think that these look pretty solid. I think a lot of people in the BIG were saying that they personally like these as well. Some people were like a little like, oh man, it's a little too UT, or some people were like, yeah, it's a little underwhelming, but I think that this art actually looks pretty solid, and I think Mutants is just a team and platform that are going to build for the long term. So I think overall, relatively safe play. They still have to figure out how they can really give value to that mutant token though, in my opinion, which is like how your value is supposed to be derived from their different platforms. But if they can figure that out or make that token sustainable, then I expect this project to be a pretty good long-term play. Next thing here, Her Monster, Main Monster, Militia. Now, this is another project released somewhat recently, I think like 2 weeks ago. I'm actually bullish on Her Monster in the long term. I think that these guys have a lot going on for them. I think the art looks good. They're coming out with this whole gamified ecosystem. They're good at marketing. They're in different spaces. They have a cool website. They're making this whole entire Foxy Fight Club where based on your stats, you're going to be able to make like these different groups or these clans. You're going to be able to battle other people for this Roxy token. They have their apartments where for each room in the apartment, you're going to be able to stake one of these militias, and basically you're going to be able to earn that Roxy token as well. So a lot going on in their ecosystem. I think it's just a very solid, well-rounded project. I think they're here to build, and they're going to do well long term. I am interested in how that value of that Roxy token is going to work. We'll see, because a lot of value from this project might be derived from that on top of everything else they're doing. So we'll see how exactly they build that ecosystem out. Next project here that I wanted to bring up was actually Raccoon Syndicate. They're actually finally doing their hold to earn game. I think the first snapshot was actually yesterday, and they're partnering with different projects, including Jellycubes, to get different point multipliers. Now, they actually retweeted a thread that explains how these different points work, how these different clans and societies and all of that stuff work. So check it out. I haven't had the time to go through this yet, but I did see that they had finally released this, so I wanted to at least get it out there to you guys. Next project on the list is obviously Jellycubes. I got to bring up Jellycubes every time because I know a lot of the BIG fam watch my videos. Honestly, guys, there's just so much happening. I think the big thing that we're doing soon, that's going to come out relatively soon here, is that we actually have this sort of new style of whitelist management and giveaway platform that is going to be coming out. I can't give too much information yet, but I'll definitely make a video covering how exactly it's going to work. If you're someone familiar with Subber or even Atlas that are on Solana, it works similarly, but it's in a different way that I actually think is a lot better. And we're incorporating different giveaways, and we're hoping that a lot of this value value from this platform is going to carry back into Jellycubes, as well as our Jelly Chunk token. Now, I can't really talk about our Jelly Chunk token too much. It is a BIG exclusive video right now. I just made a whole video covering it for BIG members, but the way that we're doing our token is revolutionary in my opinion, and I've never seen a project on any chain do what we're about to do. I'm hoping that that can come out sometime in the next 2 months here. And when that comes out, you guys are going to kind of see how this whole ecosystem comes together, how everything kind of comes in place. We also partnered with Brave Dogs, and they're going to be our main minting partner for our block pad. One thing that's really cool about our block pad, where we're going to help mint other projects, is we're actually having a sacrifice where a portion of that revenue is going to go back to our holders, which is super cool. There's also a lot of other stuff going on with this block pad. Yeah, you guys are just going to see over the next couple months here. I'm excited for the different partnerships and the developments that we've made so far. Next thing here is the old money 0.2 bills. The reason I wanted to bring these guys up is right now, literally as I'm making this video, they're actually minting their MX bills or their MX pesos. Now, we don't even know how much supply this is. They did come out and it was 2,000 supply for the public right now and 408 a mint price, which is pretty steep. I like the old money team. I think they've done a lot of cool stuff. I think the art looks good. I think the lore is there. It is a difficult ecosystem though for new people to get in, and there is going to be a lot of dilution with these pesos. So something to pay attention to. If these bills go down significantly because of the pesos, or if those pesos go down a lot, then potentially look at buying in for the long term. But recognize, guys, that this is a project that is hard for new people to get involved, even though they have a lot of awesome stuff going on. And you can kind of see here, these are some of their new Mexican pesos. I actually think they look really cool. And I think their art in general looks super cool. And the way they have their whole minting platform right now is also super cool. It's like this whole puzzle minting machine, and they have 8 different phases for their mint. So I'm paying attention to it. I think they came out way too high on their mint price, unfortunately, at 400 ADA, but we'll see how this plays out. Now, the last project that I wanted to bring up here is actually Blockowls. And the reason I'm bringing up Blockowls is they finally announced their new mint that's coming up. It's their Java Z mint. There's going to be 6,400. They're all 1-for-1s, which is crazy. They're all 3D animated and all with sound. And it's using this new fox-like character instead of an owl on these different machines and spaceships and whatever the case is, right? So pretty cool mint. I'm actually going to have them on the channel where they can actually do a deeper dive of what they're doing here. But yeah, they announced this mint. I think it's going to be $110. So it is a higher mint price, guys. So yeah, we just need to have them on the channel and learn everything that they're doing here. And you can kind of see here, guys, that my name is Kit, and it's Kitsune, meaning fox in Japanese. So pretty cool. I think this looks really good. I know some people are really liking the owls, but they already have 3-4 owl collections. So I actually do like how they change things up. That pretty much wraps up this Cardano NFT market update video. Now, I know there was a ton of information in here, guys, so sorry if it took a long time to get through all these different projects, but I wanted to catch you guys up to speed. If you're in this market and you're grinding and you're paying attention, my biggest piece of advice right now is to not necessarily sell right now because it's too late for that, but to really get into projects that you believe are going to be here in the long term. If you believe in Cardano as a blockchain, if you believe the DeFi is going to get a lot bigger, then you should also believe that the NFT side of things are going to get a lot bigger as well. And now's the time to really be in projects that you think are going to be here for the long run. We could go into World War III and we could get into a way worse economic situation. I have no idea, but you're going to want to be in projects that you trust. A lot of projects, guys, I'm letting you know right now, when royalties are a lot lower and they're not making any money, a lot of these founders are going to be nowhere seen. They're going to leave, they're going to give up, they're not going to have the money to continue things. They can't even do a new mint because they don't have enough money to do a new mint and there's not enough money in the market, etc., etc. You're really going to want to be in projects that are going to be here and be around, and you're not going to want to mint a lot of projects. A lot of new mints have not been doing well, guys. This is not the minting market. This is the market where you really settle down and double down on the projects you like long term. Maybe you get into the DeFi plays like I am with Indigo. Maybe you join our block Discord and you get free Matic NFT information, and maybe you get into some flips over there because that market's a little more hot for flips. But right now, it's like a time to not lose money if you can. But But yeah, that wraps up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned. I have a lot more videos planned that are coming out relatively soon here. I was on a trip for a while and it's just a pain in the ass to try to record stuff when you're in the car and stuff. But I'm hoping that I can knock out some of these videos over the next couple weeks of just ideas that have been floating in my head that I think is valuable to share with you guys. But yeah, that wraps it up, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.